Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
We are proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ, as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 10 million views.
We are proud that we have more than 1,000 new subscribers in the last month, and that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida. Over 500,000 of you have watched this show in the last 90 days. We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBTQ community.
There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Wednesday, January 15th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ plus evening news show.
Hotspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbians, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 10,000 LGBTQ television stories. We will produce the 25th anniversary of our Stonewall Pride and Festival that will happen on June the 14th. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment show supports our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 anchors will host this show to support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Dino Mosquera, my brother from another mother, my Venezuelan brother, the guy that has gotten more ass than I can even explain to you. So let me tell you a little bit about Dino Mosquera. He joined the Miami Gay and Lesbian Film Festival in the late 90s and now serves on the Outshine Film Festival's board of directors. So Dino, History Fort Lauderdale and Galleria Fort Lauderdale have announced this year's Women Trailblazers Champions of Change, Broward County honorees. The opening reception is on March 5th. Tell me what's happening.
Well, there is this fantastic event coming to Fort Lauderdale, hosted by History Fort Lauderdale, March 5th at the Galleria Mall, and they're going to be honoring some amazing women. Rita Case is going to be one of them.
Oh, that's Rita Case. That was the woman from Case, the car dealership place,
the
right?
dealership, right. That's right.
They have helped so many organizations, and I love her hats.
I do too. I do too. The hair is fierce too, but the hats are amazing. Elaine Vasquez is going to be honored. Juliette Rolhack.
Nice.
Franz Posito. And Suzanne Reniasen. So it's a fantastic event, and I hope we all recognize the value of these women for our county. So
yes, for sure. And Fort Lauderdale is it. And let me tell you a little bit about History Fort Lauderdale. History Fort Lauderdale always makes sure to spotlight people that have done incredible, wonderful things for Broward County, for Fort Lauderdale. And the list that Dino just named off are just women that are just trailblazers. They're just women that have done so much for community. And one last name that we have to add to that list that's being honored at this year's event is Ina Lee. And Ina Lee is just an incredible soul. She is the owner of Travel Host and a socialite herself, and she has done great things with nonprofits here in Fort Lauderdale. So I'm looking forward to this event. If you want to go get tickets to it, please go over to History Fort Lauderdale on social media and grab your tickets. It is March 5th, you said, right?
That's right.
Starting at 6 p.m. So Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Women Trailblazers 2025 opening reception on March 5th. Let's welcome my nemesis. You know, it's funny because me and this kid didn't get along about 3 years ago, and now we're like super besties. I'm telling you, he's like one of my favorite brown people on earth, aside from Dino Mosquera. So our next anchor is TriniDaddy. He is a violinist and pianist with the Miami City Ballet, and he is so freaking talented. He is also the program director for the Seminole Theater Players all the way down in Homestead. So TriniDaddy, Dimensions Dance Theater of Miami Sanctuary Series debuts on January 25th. Tell me what's happening, Bebe.
So, if you don't know Dimensions Dance Theater Miami, it is one of the hottest dance companies that is coming across America right now. It was founded by Jennifer and Carlos Guerra, who were principal dancers with the Miami City Ballet, decided to start their own company and service the south part of Miami, which is in desperate need of real arts to come down there. So they are doing this wonderful performance that I'm performing in as a violinist, also with a pianist. It's called Mirror in Mirror. The piece that we're playing, and I forget the French name of it, but they're having a choreographer come down, and they have 2 dancers that are going to be performing with us. And we first debuted it on the Kennedy Center series during the pandemic, so it was broadcast across the world, and now we get to do it live again in person on Saturday, January 18th. So I would love for you all to come out and support this wonderful dance company. Please follow them on Instagram, Dimensions Dance Theater Miami. And also, if I could just plug one more little thing, the South Florida Symphony tomorrow, January 16th, is performing Candide at the Broward Center for Performing Arts. Leonard Bernstein's daughter is going to be in attendance giving the pre-concert lecture, and I had the opportunity to perform for her last night, which was absolutely amazing and lovely. If you've seen the film Maestro, it's about Leonard Bernstein's life, who is probably my top musical idol of all time.
That's saying a lot.
Yes.
Right?
And we also have another performance on Sunday, January 19th, if you happen to be in Key West, if you're watching down there. Very gay-friendly town, and it's a wonderful place at the Tennessee Williams Center that they're going to be performing it again. So both Dimensions Dance Theater and the South Florida Symphony.
Oh, well, there you go. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at Dimensions Dance Theater of Miami Sanctuary Series, and of course at Candide as well. Let's welcome family to the table. Here's anchor Bobby Blair. He's a former professional tennis player ranking in NCAA's top 5. He managed world team tennis with Billie Jean King and is a business training expert. He had successful LGBTQ plus publications everywhere, like Next, Frontiers, and Fun Maps. You remember those, and launched LGBTQ Loyalty Holdings. Now in Fort Lauderdale, he's a GLBT International Hall of Fame member. So Bobby, the second season of the Bobby Blair Show premieres right here on this network, on the Happening Out Television Network on January 23rd. Tell me what's happening.
Well, Kitty Meow, my dearest friend in the entire community, we traveled the world together when we had the magazines, and Sean lived out in LA with us, and we want to bring the hidden gems to the community, the things that people may not know about that are so special. Like today, we did a segment over at the Pelican Beach Resort, had lunch literally on the ocean. So people that are coming to Fort Lauderdale on vacation from all over the world may not know that this place exists because they're not necessarily advertising in the LGBT publications. They may not be on the LGBT websites, but it is a fantastic place to go. So it's those hidden gems. It's our relationships with different various businesses that are going to encourage people to go on their special events. It's going to be giving a take on what's happening in our community that maybe is a different take that you haven't thought of. What is really our thoughts on our experience of being so deep into the community, and what is our viewpoint on certain issues? And we're really going to try to find those subject matters that really, really hit deep in the real LGBT community, our LGBT youth, our homeless youth program, where there's so many kids that are still being thrown out of their homes in Oklahoma and Indiana and all over the country that are coming to Fort Lauderdale. Where do they go? Wouldn't it be a blessing if they could see the show? It's on their phone. They have resources. So it's that stuff that's not always spoke about that we want to give a different view on and give exposure to the hidden gems in and around South Florida.
I love that. And people are always wanting to know where to go and what to do. People want those hidden gems. Of course they want to go to the drive and party. Of course they want to go to all the spots that everybody goes to, right? You got to go to Aquaplex, you got to go to the drive, but you also need to go to those little hidden gems, like you said, that are right there on the beach and are welcoming, inclusive, and fun to go to.
The greatest advice I ever got was from Brett Tannenbaum, the owner of the Manor when we owned Guy Magazine
Brett,
and the Florida Agenda. And I put together a little board of directors of the who's who in the community. And he says, Bobby, the magazine's great, but how great would it be for you to promote things that are not necessarily LGBTQ, not just the bar and just not the nightclubs, but how about that you can come on Wilton Drive and you can rent canoes and go through the rivers? How about going deep sea fishing? How about what's happening at the Broward Center, the plays, the theater? So we really started taking our publication and thinking about that gay people and LGBTQ people of all walks of life like all different types of things that straight people like too.
Yeah.
So we started promoting the fun things on Los Olas, various, and it really made our publication stand out from everybody else's. And our show will do the same. We want to be able to bring things that are not necessarily spoken about too much or given too much promotion, and they're really the hidden gem. And we want to give an angle to a story that may not have been spoken about yet.
Yeah, but you're going to go in there and cause ruckus. I mean, you can't, Kitty Meow doesn't blend. Okay, she doesn't just blend in, all right? She comes in and she is the party, so I mean, let me ask you that. How was it working with your good friend?
I'm going to tell you something. I walked Kitty Meow up to Billie Jean King and Billie Jean King bowed. I'm telling you, I walked Kitty Meow in front of Billy Bean and Barney Frank and all these incredible people, and Kitty has such a personality that if Kitty was homeless and working under 95, he would be the ringleader, and you can walk him into the White House, i.e. not next week, but we could walk into the White House and he could sit with presidents.
He totally can.
He's articulate, he's smart, he's just such a caring and genuine person that every word that comes out of his mouth matters. So what I love about him being my partner in this project, that he's authentic, he tells the truth, he's not going to exaggerate. You might fall in the water and Wilton Manor is going canoeing, you might get an alligator. That would be something Kitty would say.
Yeah.
But we're going to really, use our past together, and I hope that we're going to be able to create a synergy that inspires you to do things that you may not have thought of. Like, for example, come to Key West this weekend and check you out. How fun would that be?
Yeah.
That's a one-off that nobody would really think of. So those are the things that we want to cover.
I want to see Kitty in a canoe. What were you going to say, honey?
I think that's beautiful, and I definitely want to tune in and watch, but just to be a little shallow for a moment, you're an athlete.
Yes.
There's happen to be some hot guys and girls in this. Featured a little
Are
bit.
you going to cover sports?
Yeah, a little sports, a little
I'd
something
love
in
to,
there.
and it's interesting because we have such great LGBTQ sports leagues. We have the tennis leagues that's happening over at the Tennis Club Fort Lauderdale. A lot of our community is now playing pickleball at Holiday Park.
Yes, I played
So we absolutely want to cover the athletes in our community. But at the end of the day, we're really trying, like I said, to find that hidden gem, which pickleball was the hidden gem for a while. It's kind of that cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
But there's lots of really fun things you can do to get your exercise. I mean, I'm telling you, just walking up and down Los Olas, that whole strip on a Saturday night after dinner is great exercise. And you'll never see so many beautiful people from all walks of life. It's just getting out and about and seeing what the world has to offer than just maybe what we focused on in our community, in our media, that kind of narrow. We want to get outside of the narrow box.
And it's so important,
Fantastic.
Especially with, who getting into office,
Yeah.
We need to know our allies. We need to welcome our allies. We need to break bread with our allies. So season 1 came, we had season 1 last year. What did you learn from season 1?
I learned that people care about the stuff they haven't heard about before. They want that aha moment. They want that, I didn't think about that. You gave me an idea that I didn't think of. The perspective was different. I try to do that in our magazines. We always put different people on the covers that you would never expect. Because I wanted to showcase the world that maybe people don't think about as much. And quite frankly, I'm a big fan of the marginalized group of our community. Deja Devenir was my closest, dearest friend. Velvet Lenore has been in every event I've ever been a part of. Tiffany Ariagas has never said no to any event. And so I'm a very, very, very big fan of our transgender community. I'm a very big fan of our young people who really, I think, need inspiration. And the inspiration is not about, us telling them what to do. It's about living our lifestyles in the most positive way, being extremely positive in how we try to show gratitude for the life we do have, not complaining about the life we don't have. I just think it's important that we walk an incredible walk and let that to be our talk.
Yeah.
And that really is what I hope our show does. We don't want to tell anybody how they should think. We don't want to tell anybody who they should love. We don't want to say who's right or who's wrong. We're not going to talk about politics. We're going to try to show things that might trigger something in you that allows you to be your best self and allows you to live your best life. And that's what we're going to try to create.
Well, so you were a hometown boy. You were here for a lot of years, and then you left, and now you came back. You came back last year, and you kind of like came in with a storm. You know,
I only know one way.
I see that. I see that. And it's wonderful, you know. So you came and it's like, you know, we're loving tropics. We're loving Dancing with the South Florida Stars. That's going to come back this month as well.
I need a violinist, by the way. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that, Trini. What else does Bobby Blair and the Bobby Blair Show have in store for us for 2025?
Well, we're going to feature all of the events that the Game Changers are creating. We want to make sure that we're there, we're covering it. Again, we want to cover it from a different perspective, maybe give it a different angle. Maybe there's somebody in a production that nobody knows about that came from humble beginnings from Oklahoma. They were thrown out of their home. They were homeless. They found a mentor and they found their way through life. And I think those are stories that people want to hear about. We can always promote the date, the time, the place, you know, how cool it is, how great it's going to be. But who's behind the camera? Who's in that curtain call that's sitting on the far left, right, that didn't have the major role, but it's a major thing that they're there and they're standing there and they made it in life to get there. So we'll be searching the world over for those types of stories that can create inspiration and impact people that might be watching that saying, you know, I'm a little behind. I've had a little bit of bad luck. I came from humble beginnings, but maybe I could be that kid on that stage next year at the Broward Center. Because guess what? If he can do it, I can do it. Or if she can do it, I can do it. And we want to be able to kind of bring that to the market. And I think that's, you know, anything in life, you want to bring something that's not in the market today. You want to bring some value to something that's not available to the market today. And being a business owner, you always try to do that, right?
Yeah.
Try to fill the void in some way. So we want to fill the void in that way. Find those hidden gem stories, places, locations, things to do that maybe people aren't talking about.
What was the number one thing you've learned from Kitty?
Compassion for people. You know, I've kind of been on the go since I've been a little kid. My mom taught me at 8, 9, 10 years old that if you want to get off this dirt road in this little nasty little neighborhood and this, you know, we lived in a little 2-bedroom house. We were poor. My dad was a painter. My mom worked at SunTrust Bank for $9,000 a year. And that was my stringing bill just for my tennis rackets. And she had cancer throughout my whole youth and she died when I was 18. She taught me that tennis is your job and it's going to get you off this street. It's going to get you into a college. It's going to introduce you to the Billie Jean Kings of the world. I remember watching Billie Jean King play Chris Evert on TV. And she said, one day you're going to know her. You know, one day you're going to be with her.
And you were.
And she was right. So I just want to figure out ways to get our younger generation inspired. I want them filled with gratitude for where they are today so they can be motivated to go forward tomorrow. And I think that will be a big part of what this show has the potential to create.
Well, we can't wait to watch it. We can't wait to see it. So folks at home, make sure that you catch the Bobby Blair Show Season 2, January 23rd. And every week after that, they're going to be doing big things. Make sure you catch the incredible Bobby Blair and Kitty Meow, bringing you all the fun every single week. And it starts January 23rd.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, the annual professional event night at the Society Greetings from Florida Sip and Sea Cruise is on Saturday, January 25th at Fiesta Cruises of Miami. Tell me, what's happening?
Yes, Night at the Society is the annual proud night out celebrating and bringing folks together for an evening of cocktails, music, and entertainment. So for our 2024 year theme of Set Forth and Explore is the theme, you get to set sail to dance to the sounds of the DJ playing top hits on a lighted dance floor, sip on a free cocktail, and take a break to see while you enjoy the night skyline lit in a multitude of colors on this evening. 90-minute narrated cruise. Everyone will love it. Everyone is welcome to attend. Fiesta adult-only party cruise tickets are $49 plus tax, which includes 2 free drinks. Check-in is at 9 p.m. at the Mia Marina at Bayside Marketplace in Pier 5, Slip 11 in Miami. The cruise disembarks at 9:30 p.m. So please RSVP if you're planning to attend the cruise. Cruise tickets may be purchased at fiestacruises.com/adults-only party cruise with drinks. Brought to you by the Proud Society and David Quiñones. See you then.
Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Night at the Society at Fiesta Cruises of Miami on January 25th. $45. That's 2 drinks at South Beach anyways, and you get them free. So hope to see you there.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up Hotspots magazine. Hotspots magazine celebrates 40th anniversary with a new issue coming on January 16th. Hotspots is celebrating 40 years with a new issue coming this Thursday. The magazine is part of Hotspots Happening Out, the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media group in America. This new Hotspots issue will include interesting features, including Monster Jam returning to Miami on January 25th. You can read all about how 12,000-pound trucks compete and fly through the air. Next up, Chris Azzopardi has written a beautiful personal story of how Robbie Williams, a straight pop star, made Chris feel seen and influenced him. It is a must read. If you wonder what entertainment options you have this month, you must read a feature by Scott Holland on Funny Girls. The musical comedy is coming to Gravis Center on January 28th. Scott sat with Funny Girls performer Kyle de la Cruz. This is the interview that you should not miss. The new issue also covers a feature on the 4th annual Rhythm by River Festival. Plus, Julieta Cervantes has brought to the readers an exclusive Hotspots interview with Jacoby Wallace of A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond musical. And of course, you can read popular features like Hot Bodies by Leo Harley, Hotspots Hotties featuring Elver Nazimov, and What's Hot and Out with Scott by Scott Holland. Grab your free copy of Hotspots magazine on Thursday, or you might miss all the fun. You know, I can't believe that Hotspots has been around 40 years. First of all, congratulations to Hotspots for being around that amount of time. And, you know, I've only been at Hotspots Happening Out for 3 years, and I've been picking up Hotspots for about 20 plus years. You know, I could remember that that's always been the go-to to find out what's hot, what's going on, what's new, and to see the hot boys. Stop looking at me, Dino. I know that was the first reason why I picked it up initially, you know. So to see that it's thriving, it's like a part of our community. It's the go-to, it's the staple when it comes to what's going on in LGBTQ plus.
And it's changed a lot. I remember when they used to have classifieds in the back. Do you remember that? When they used to,
I'm too young
years
for that.
ago. Oh, please. But yeah, he talks about an event. You talk about an event that they're gonna have that I like to see actually.
Which one?
Better Man, the movie
okay.
about Robin Williams. It's a great film according to the critic. Apparently not that a lot of people are watching it, but it's a great film. It was shown at the Miami Film Festival Gems in last November. So, and it talks about Robbie Williams' ascent to, popularity. Not so much here in the U.S., but in the U.K.
Okay.
So he's huge in the U.K.
So in the Hotspots issue, you'll see a different view because
Correct.
It's written by the writer's standpoint.
Correct.
And looking at Robbie like a mentor,
Right.
would be a different switch on it kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, Hotspots always surprises me with some, very interesting articles. So I like to read that about.
Dino picks it up for the articles. Dice,
And the classifieds.
And the
classifieds.
What I actually like about it is that it is pretty representative of our community. Every time I pick up Hotspots magazine and I thumb through it, it's people that I've seen on the everyday streets. If you go to Palace in any of the bars, you're going to see some of the dancers that are there. It gives you a pretty good picture of the nightlife that's going on, and plus some substantive stories about what is going on in the community. I don't really know, maybe this is bad to say, but I don't know of any other publication that is as popular to know what's going on in South Florida as Hotspots magazine. So.
Well, there's that and War magazine too, right? So those two, traditionally, but I always like to see people, friends of mine, people that I know that I've seen on the Hotspots cover, so, and to learn something different about people that are, out and about in our community.
Well, and if you want to talk about covers, I was on the cover, and there's almost never a woman on the cover of Hotspots. So for anybody that has said that there hasn't been, there has been. You're looking at her, okay? I mean, so...
Yeah, but you're like a guy.
I am like a guy, but that's like the inclusivity. Bobby, I'm going to ask you, because you were the mastermind behind so many publications, right? What do you think about a publication this size with all these people following it that's been around for 40 freaking years?
I will tell you there's some unsung heroes in the Hotspots historical 40 years. Jason Bell, who started Hotspots magazine, had 30 or 40 pages of classifieds. Wow. I mean, and that was really, really incredible. And then he was the first one to really start showcasing the importance of the local talent. I mean, he put the local entertainers and made them local celebrities. And then Peter Clark came around and did an incredible job of increasing the value of the publication from its reach, its distribution, its content. He hired really, really good writers and photographers, and he brought Hotspots to an amazing level. I will tell you, I would wake up every single Thursday morning, and the first place I would do is run down the street to Georgie's Alibi and pick up a Hotspots magazine, and I would pick up my magazine and go, you know, just hoping to God that we're hanging in there with that. Like, it was my meter to how good we were performing as a publication company. It was my meter. When I went to Frontiers, I was still pulling out Hotspots, and Frontiers is a historical publication that was deemed to be the best. But I will tell you, time and time again, Hotspots has proven that if you want to know where to go, it's in there. You want to know where to have a good time, it's in there. If you want to know where the local talent's performing, it's in there. If you want to know where to go on vacation, if you want to know who the hot models are of the day in real time, this month, 2024, it's in there. Scott Holland is the brainchild behind what makes it so great today. And the ownership, led by Jeff Sterling and the Wilton Manors Entertainment Group, really turned over the reins to Scott. Many people don't know this, but Jeff Sterling was my CFO. It was on my board of directors of our media company when we took it public and rang the bell at the NASDAQ. So Jeff and I have been business partners side by side for 15 years. So when he took over Hotspots, it was absolutely one of the most exciting days for me because we were very competitive, and you were too young to remember, you might know, but it was World War III in the media world.
Was it
Oh,
really?
World War III. You know, everybody trying to just cut each other's throats into oblivion. But I will tell you, the thought that Peter Clark had the oomph, and he put millions of dollars into bringing a world-class voice to this community, and it was my bar of how good I was. He made me the publisher that I am today. And to see my dear friend Jeff Sterling take it and run with it, and to see Scott Holland take it and run with it, and to do so great with it, I am so happy to be a part of it. It was one of the first things I wanted to do, is to join forces with them. And I know a lot of people go, oh my God, how could you go do that with Hotspots? I said, listen, when it's good, it's good. You want to be with the best.
Exactly. Watch me do it, right?
Yeah. And I don't hold grudges. I'm all good. And I wish Peter Clark the best, and Jason Bell. He's probably taken 5,000 cruises with the Hotspots classified money.
And he deserves it.
From 20 years ago.
He deserves it,
Yeah.
you know. So congratulations to everybody over there at Hotspots. Scott Holland, you know that I adore you. You guys keep doing what you're doing. Here's to 40 years and
40
here's
more.
to 40 more years. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now, let's dive deep into this LGBTQ big story for today. I'm TriniDaddy, and let's queer up the gay culture. Our gay culture celebrates the top 20 adult entertainers searched by the gays. Pornhub's finished this year revealing the most searched gay adult stars of 2024. Gay porn stars are celebrities in the LGBTQ community, and fans binge steamy videos at record highs, making household names out of performers like Raheem Shabazz, Cade Maddox, Tyler Wu, and Dante Collet. The annual list ranks the top 20 gay entertainers, with Malik Delgado claiming the #1 spot for 2024. Tyler Wu followed in second place, while Honey Paint secured third. Other notable stars included Joey Mills at 7th, LeGrand Wolf at 9th position, and Dom King at 13th rank. Whether fans watch for their favorite entertainer or exciting new content, Pornhub's spicy statistics prove that LGBTQ creators remain a significant force in adult entertainment. 2024 had more than 1 billion views. It's a lot of gay searching for the community, and unfortunately, I think I need to get a new VPN or a VPN because it's banned here in Florida. Pornhub now, and many other sites requiring verification. But yeah, I was surprised when I first, became gay, when I first awakened to this in the early 2000s, how big a part of gay culture porn stars are, and that they're these huge celebrities. And so I don't know, I still feel this like little shame for admitting,
Right?
you know, like am I talking about
please.
gay porn? But yeah, some of the best content from Sean Cody, Corbin Fisher. I don't know if you remember these guys. You know,
course.
when I was in the Didn't have internet at the time because, that was a relatively new thing when I was in college. But going up to the 7th story in the library at college and like seeing this and realizing, oh, I think I'm gay. And it was actually porn that finally put the nail in the coffin. I'm like, I am gay. I like what is on the screen, and I want these people to get out, and I want these guys to be in. So, I think it's played a significant part in our culture, just becoming aware of ourselves and awakening what we're into and seeing things that maybe you thought you were kind of disgusted by at first, and you're like, there's something to this and these performers that made you realize like who you were as a person. And so, there's
we're owning
we
the
have
narrative.
to. Listen, people need to be less closeted about porn, okay? Everybody watches it, all right? And the people who hide it are the ones who are always trying to hurt our community because they're just self-loathing because they're hiding it, all right? So be proud. Pornhub is incredible. Pornhub keeps couples together. Pornhub is your companion when you're by yourself. It's like it was such a sad story when we got banned down here, right? When Pornhub wasn't allowed, and then somebody was like, "No, baby, just use a VPN." I was like, "Thank you, Shark, thank you," and there I am. I never really knew the names of the adult stars. I would usually call it hot guy number 1, the guy that looks straight, the gay guy with the socks. That's usually how I would say which porn star
I'm not surprised that Malik Delgado is number 1. So Brian and I lived in Vegas for 4 years, and last year we went to visit our dear friend Howard Andrew from Fab Scouts.
Fab Scout,
and we were hanging out at his booth, and there comes this, ridiculously hot, beautiful guy asking about sports. He looked like he's fresh off the soccer field.
Right.
And the nicest kid I ever met, so personable, so real. So, of course, I had to go outside real quick. Not to do that. But I had to Google him, and I had to go watch a couple scenes and walk back in and go, okay, I got it. Now I know why he's so, like, millions of viewers, number 1. And I'd never heard of him before, but the fact that he was so personable, he looked you in the eye, shake your hand, and then to go look at the video and, and to go to his, like, personal site, he's that guy. He's really that in real life. I'm not surprised he's number 1.
That's why he's number 1, right?
He's so engaging.
Yeah.
Like you, I probably seen him thousands of times, but I don't know him by the name.
You would know this one if you
Raheem Shabazz, of course I do. Everybody know who he is.
Yeah.
Girl, when I met Rocco Steele once at the Eagle in New Orleans. I tell you, that was one of my proudest
best
moments.
nights of your life.
Well, the best night ever in Fort Lauderdale's life ever was when Victor Zepke at the boardwalk brought the world famous Jeff Stryker.
Jeff Stryker, my God,
and
Jeff
he was
Stryker,
there
yes,
doing his thing.
I
really,
heard about
it was a beauty.
That would have been something the host you would have loved.
It was a beauty, and Chase Hunter at Splash in South Miami.
Yes.
This is, in the 90s.
And speaking of a beauty, Dom King has a beauty. We'll leave it at that. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into the big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Dino Mosquera, and let's queer up politics. Marjorie Taylor Greene screams child predator raging against new Congressman Sarah McBride. Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has launched baseless attacks against Democratic Representative Sarah McBride, who is the first openly transgender member of Congress. Greene called her a groomer and a child predator in her recent social media post, despite not providing any evidence. Greene also dead-named McBride while sharing a video of her reading I Am Jazz, a book by trans activist Jazz Jennings, at an LGBTQ-friendly event for children. The event was sponsored by the Human Rights Campaign and the National Education Association. It aimed to promote respect and understanding of queer identities. McBride spoke about Jennings' transition, explaining to children that respecting someone's identity is about kindness and understanding. This isn't the first attack McBride has faced in Congress. Republicans, lawmakers have introduced measures to restrict her rights and access to a bathroom. And unfortunately, this is not the first time that Marjorie Taylor Greene goes, crazy as usual. In fact, I'm surprised when she said something
Not
reasonable. Yeah, not crazy. But she didn't mind when Matt Gaetz was basically revealed as, in fact, a child predator too, because he was having sex with an underage woman or girl, but she doesn't have a problem with that. She has no problem with that, but she has a problem with this woman that is being elected to Congress, who hasn't done nothing wrong, living her life. But then, this is the Republican Party of Donald Trump.
Yeah, this is a page right out of his book, okay? That's what everybody's doing, is being a bully, all right? Marjorie Taylor Greene, God, I wish I would run into you in a bathroom.
Oh.
That's it, period, okay? I don't have to say no more. It's not a threat or anything. I just would love to run into her to see what is in her brain, because some of the stuff that comes out of her mouth is just honestly uncanny. But it's really being a freaking bully. That's all it is. It's being a bully to Sarah McBride, okay? Sarah is the first transgender woman representing our community in Congress, right? And they are enforcing the bathroom ban, so she's not allowed to use the women's bathroom there in Congress, okay? She's got her own bathroom, but it's the point. She said that she'll uphold the laws, she'll uphold the ban, because she's a good citizen of this freaking of this world. And then you have Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is just not. This is just the beginning. This is going to be 4 years of this, okay? The beautiful thing is that Sarah McBride is a badass. She is ready. She's got the thick skin, and she's ready to fight for our community. She sat there and read to children, I Am Jazz, okay? I love Jazz Jennings. She's actually a South Florida person herself and her family. I run into her at events all the time, trying to teach kids to not be like Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's basically what Sarah McBride's whole mission is, So it's sad that we're going to be telling stories like this more often. She's a nasty bully. She's going to continue to be a nasty bully, and she's she just wants to continue to kiss Trump's ass and go after Sarah in such a horrible way.
It's a Rolodex of nonsense, and I think that this young generation of people, we're taking it extremely serious, because we wish we could actually do something, like you said, go up there and have some reasonable conversation with this person. I think that the generation that you're coming up with, your understanding and your open-mindedness to what's nonsense and not nonsense, I think that the next generation of our community members and our future leaders are going to realize that the nonsense gets traction in the media, but common sense makes a difference to the people you serve. And I think if we stay focused on our initiatives, stay focused on the things we can actually do. Barney Frank taught me a lesson. Nothing great happens fast. It's very, very slow. Every day, wake up. What little bit of change can we make today? And us even giving Marjorie Taylor Greene these 3 or 4 minutes is giving her a little gas to her fire, because unfortunately there are community members that kind of think like Marjorie Taylor Greene too. I mean, 38%, I believe, are Republicans in our LGBTQ plus community. So at the end of the day, let's not promote nonsense. Let's create common sense conversation, because people like you, who are going to lead this generation, lead our community in the future.
I love that you think he's young.
Are going well. Anybody under
his brown, sweetie.
Anybody under 50, and to me is young, and they have a good long 20, 30, 40 years of common sense discussions, common sense approach, and let that rhetoric be what it is, and don't give it any airtime, is my opinion.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I have to get back onto the topic because, yes, I'm Generation X. So,
What?
Yeah. Brown don't frown.
You see?
Yeah. So with Sarah McBride, I love her stance on this. She has decided that she is not going to respond in the way that Marjorie Taylor Greene and others in Congress are hoping that she responds.
That's right.
In this attack way that they can create these sound bites.
Yeah.
She's saying, you know what, I am not here to represent trans people. I'm here just to represent the people of my district.
Yeah.
Which that's all
She's
I'm
gonna
here
do
to
her
represent.
work.
Exactly. And she's trying to use that, which is the same tactic of Martin Luther King, Gandhi, of this passive resistance to show what a bully the other person is, to make it clear to America. Because what has happened in our 24-hour news cycle is that these politicians have become celebrities, and they love their celebritydom. So they go on Fox News, they go on OAN, they go on all the conservative media sites, which I watch all the time too as well, and they start to with the fame that they get, they want to continue getting that fame. They want to continue getting those endorsements from the people in conservative America. So they know what they are saying is not true. Yeah. She knows that Sarah McBride is not grooming anybody, is not molesting any child or anything, but she knows that there's a big base of people that are going to champion her, that are going to go to her website, they're going to go to her Instagram account, and so that's what they're thriving off of.
Yeah.
So you know where this all started is the #1 publication in the world for many years, decades, was the National Enquirer. Mm-hmm. And they were sensationalism media publication, right? And they didn't always tell the truth, and they bought stories, and they paid people to say things they wouldn't have said if they weren't paid. All of a sudden, mainstream media picks this up and says, well, we got to be a little more sensational. We got to be a little more driven to what's going to make people take a step back, what's going to get the views. And all of a sudden, the advertising money came in. I don't know if you remember, but I'm a little older in that I remember when CBS, NBC, and ABC, that half-hour time slot every night was not a moneymaker. It was not there to make money. News content became monetized. It became, you have to make money or we fire you as a host. Mm-hmm. You got to get enough of eyeballs. You got to get enough revenue. You only do that by sensationalizing people, and she is a product of the National Enquirer. She is a product of how far south in the toilet that Fox News went back in the day. And they also realize that you can be too sensationalized and you can be not enough. And I think that the media, and CNN was the first to do it, I think they were the ones that started to find somewhat of a common ground because they realized they're going to have to keep up or they're going to have to get out.
Yeah.
So I think they've done a good job of pulling back, and they let go of some of their anchors that were going the distance to just rip Marjorie Taylor Greene to shreds, which might be interesting news, but is that how you really want to be as a reporter to the news, or do you want to be open-minded, and do you want to be perceived as somebody that wants to tell the truth, and are you somebody that's being bought by advertisers, or are you somebody that's going to say what the facts tell you to say, and here's my opinion of the facts? And I think we're slowly getting back to that because people are demanding it. The world's demanding truth now. Mm-hmm. They really are. That's why we have fact checkers everywhere.
Right, but
except on Facebook and everywhere else. We've got to move on. But listen, our thoughts are with Sarah McBride. You keep on kicking ass, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, you're just a big bully. Right.
Don't get elected again.
Don't get elected again, all right? I don't want to see your face anymore. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up lesbian culture. LA Wildfires permanently closed lesbian bar with only one left in LA. The devastating LA wildfires, claiming 9,000 buildings and 24 lives in just 1 week, have now taken another cherished part of the queer community. The Ruby Fruit, a beloved lesbian bar in Silver Lake, had to announce its closure due to the financial toll of the disaster. In an emotional Instagram post, owners Emily Billigus and Mara Hepkersman shared, quote, "Operating the Ruby Fruit is no longer possible due to the financial impact from the current natural disaster," end quote. Opened in 2023, the Ruby Fruit was more than a wine bar. It was a rare safe haven for LGBTQ women in LA, offering community through events like Transcendent Tuesdays and Verse for Verse poetry nights. The name honored Rita Mae Brown's iconic lesbian novel, Ruby Fruit Jungle. This closure is especially poignant given the sharp decline in lesbian bars across the U.S., down from 200 plus in 1980 to under 20 by 2025. Though its doors are closing, the Ruby Fruit remains a hub of hope. The owners are using the space as a donation center for wildfire victims, urging followers to help support local shelters. In their farewell post, the owner said, quote, "We love you, LA. We love you, queer fam," end quote. This is so devastating. I love the Ruby Fruit. Oh, the Ruby Fruit bathroom, if you could talk. It's sad because we do this story almost every year about how the decline in the lesbian bars has become, you can't find a lesbian bar. We don't have a lesbian bar down here, right? And Ruby Fruit was just one of the things that unfortunately we've lost because of these LA fires. It saddens me that they didn't even make 2 years because they opened in 2023. So I think that there's now less than 20 lesbian bars in the whole country. Many say that the reason is because we're allowed in other spaces. Okay. I don't necessarily believe that. I think that, everybody needs their own little space wherever possible. And so it saddens me that we've lost another lesbian bar. Kudos to Emily and Mara. You did a wonderful thing. These wildfires are something that nobody ever expected. And I mean, it's the toll is just exasperating of what it's doing and what it's going to continue to do. It's not going to be the only thing lost. There's been so many other businesses and homes lost. And it's really heartbreaking.
It's so tragic because TriniDaddy and lesbians have been like this my whole life. Not gay men, for some reason. Me and lesbians, present company excluded. But we're good now.
We're good now.
We're good now.
We're good now.
Yeah. So I've always thought that gay men had the shorter end of the stick when it came to discrimination, when it came to gay bashing and, physical violence. And because we live in a misogynistic society, and the worst thing that you can do as a man is to behave like a woman, Mm-hmm. So I've felt that lesbians have never had their proper space. And it is crazy in South Florida with this huge LGBT community that we don't have a lesbian bar. There used to be Pennies at the Duke that was in West Palm, and that's closed down. And so to have a space in LA, there's only one lesbian bar, and all of LA, yeah. West Hollywood, the whole area, it's crazy to me. So, I don't know what do you think the reason is? Is it that they're just not as sexually because gay men are looking for places
I think
to
it's
hook up.
Financial support. It's gotta be.
Of course, it's financial support, right? The thing is that generally speaking, women hook up and then stop going out. Okay, women prefer to save their money to go on an Olivia cruise or go on a happening out travel cruise than go party every weekend. We'd rather spend our money that way. And for the most part, when we hook up with somebody, and we stay with them forever. What does a lesbian bring on the second date? A U-Haul, because we tend to really get into a couple and then just be.
Yeah.
We might meet you at the club, but we won't go back to the club once we're coupled up. There are exceptions to the rule like there are anywhere. Like when I met my wife, I was like, listen, understand that I'm still going to go out. I still want to go out. That is still a big part of me. She wants to sit on the couch.
You're atypical. You are atypical.
And I think I'm a lesbian.
Probably, but you're not the typical gay man. You are atypical for a lesbian. Like you said, they want to stay home. You act like a gay man. You basically go out to the club.
I have a harness.
You love your gay man, your friends, and you get along with all of them. Unfortunately, it's not always the same for all the lesbians.
No, it's not. I have many, butchier looking, masculine more looking, lesbian friends that say that they would never go into a gay bar, that they would never go into a gay bar that I frequent and that I'm always at on the drive, that they don't feel welcomed by you gay boys, right? And I get that all the time, and there's nothing that I can say to change their minds except come with me, right? Let me show you. It's not like that, and I wish I could get all lesbians to see that, if we came to these spaces, then we would subject men to our love and our beauty, and they would know how much fun we are, and then that's it. Would men bitch? Probably, but you have to at least try.
Right, but things are changing, not always for the better, even for gay clubs. Even for gay clubs, including big cities like New York and LA and Miami, as we know. Maybe not the case for Lauderdale, but gay clubs are also closing. Yeah. Now, it's hard for me to believe that with so many powerful lesbians living in LA, they couldn't support this bar or rescue this bar from closing.
Yeah.
I understand the situation right now with the wildfires.
But owning a business isn't easy, Bobby, right? I mean, owning a business, an establishment that you are marketing, branding, everything that has to do with overhead, in-house, front of the house, back of the house, all that stuff comes into play. And, the economy everything has costed a lot more, right? I mean, are you surprised by another lesbian bar closing down?
Very. I know how difficult it is for a place like Scandals. We had 996 people there on Sunday at our tea dance. And, we wake up Monday, how'd we do? Because, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday were good, but it's not anything special. And it does take so much. It takes a village to make Scandals Bar what it is. I mean, from the DJs to, all the things that we have to deal with the parking, the valet parking, the insurance. We're opening up the Scandals Grill now this weekend to try to bring value, to bring food into the place.
Oh, and your brunch is delicious, kid.
That's at Tropics, but it is really hard to be profitable in the world today, in the gay bar business, in the gay restaurant business, gay-friendly restaurant business, because of the fact, like you said, the community now feels freer. You're more accepted. You go down to Los Olas and nobody is pushing you off the sidewalk anymore. And as a matter of fact, you're being welcomed, and I think that they're being extra nice by showing their welcoming because they know our spending power.
They want our money.
Right.
We have a dynamic spending power. And it's very sad that the women bars are not around like they used to be. But to your point, and I think it's a good point, that, listen, I'm married for 23 years. I love staying home on Thursday night. I love cooking at home, going to Fresh Market. What are we doing? So the whole concept of the bar scene is not necessarily for me, but I'm 60.
You don't have
and I don't think that women in general, they would rather go save their money and save and get the backyard looking great and buy the new car. And I think they're better spenders of their money. They're better savers. I bet if you did an analysis of two 50-year-old women that have been together 20 years against two 50-year-old men who have been together 20 years, and if you did a poll of maybe 100 each, I bet the women have a much higher net worth, more savings, and probably...
Well, no, because women are still paid less on the dollar.
Yeah, but I still think the men spend a lot more, and I think that the women are better savers. I mean, on a pro rata basis.
Yeah.
I think on pro rata, that, if you had a combined income of $100,000, I bet the women are better off than the men who have a combined income of...
I think that we should now have a television show for us to give the gay male perspective and the lesbian perspective.
I just think the women are smarter and better savers.
And the first place we should go, which is a silver lining in this, is that we do have one gay bar that is reopening in West Palm Beach, HG Roosters, which has been my favorite gay bar of all time.
Awesome.
And I have gone there.
Reopening.
Probably next month after being burned down during the pandemic without insurance. And so they had to go through a historic designation and all of that stuff. And it has been one of the most lesbian-friendly gay bars that I used to hang out with the lesbians at that bar too. So in South Florida, we have
a new one open in Miami, in Wynwood, so Willie's neighborhood. So it's been open for a little while, but now it's kind of like they're promoting it. I mean,
I wish Rosie O'Donnell would open up 20 of them. Let's go do it.
Love Rosie.
She could do it.
Rosie. I miss her being nice. Remember when Rosie was just nice and not crazy? I love her videos.
But she was in the closet.
Still great.
I watch them every day.
She was in the closet back then.
Yes.
I'm addicted.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Well, Rosie, let's open up a lesbian bar, you and me. All right. We'll call it Rosie and Faze. We'll call it Faze and Tits or something. I don't know. All right. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into the big LGBT story for today. I'm Bobby Blair, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. 70s gay history turns over in their grave as the Village People announced singing at the Trump inauguration. The Village People, the disco band known for their stylized macho gay personas, are set to perform at events celebrating Donald Trump's second inauguration. Trump has used the band's iconic hit YMCA as a campaign anthem. Victor Willis, the band's lead singer and the group's policeman, acknowledged the irony in a Facebook post. He wrote, "We know this won't make some of you happy. However, we believe that music is to be performed without regard to politics. Our song YMCA is a global anthem that hopefully helps bring the country together after a tumultuous and divided campaign where our preferred candidate did lose." The band's performances will include a Turning Point USA Ball featuring anti-LGBTQ figures like Vice President-elect J.D. Vance and Tulsi Gabbard. Turning Point USA, led by Christian nationalist Charlie Kirk, has a history of promoting anti-queer rhetoric. Kirk has demonized transgender individuals and supported the persecution of the queer community. Though Willis insists YMCA is not a gay anthem, David Hodo, the band's construction worker, disagrees. He said the song was absolutely written to celebrate gay men at the YMCA, adding, "and gay people love it." Willis, a heterosexual, had previously asked Trump to stop using the song, but later reversed course because Trump was having a lot of fun with the song and he didn't have the heart to stop him. You know, I think this is really great because Donald Trump, we like him or we don't, is a very smart person. He knows that the YMCA song is awesome. He knows that people like it. It's catchy. He can do his little dance move with it. And I think also deep down inside, it's his way of saying, I know not everyone's going to love this, but I know it's a gay song. I don't dislike gay people. I just don't agree with everything that they stand for. But you know what? I love that song. And I know that people out there love it, so let's do it. So I kind of think it's a little bit of that. I know that his daughter loves that he does it because I know that she loves that he's kind of showing, whether he's saying it or not, he's showing his way of support maybe, just a little tiny bit.
Yeah. Now, I think he's just being a dick to our community. I think it's his way of just saying, oh, this song belongs to them. This is how I get them, you know, and I get to dance on it and everything. You know, I have to say that Victor Willis, the cop, right, he's also heterosexual, like we said in the story. We did a story on this, on YMCA not being a gay song and not being a gay anthem a couple months ago. And he released a statement saying that he would sue anybody, any media organization that called YMCA a gay song.
It's unbelievable.
So, I mean, it really is unbelievable.
That's hypocritical.
And then you have, you know, and I mean, you know, and the only thing I have to say to Victor Willis is, how does that ring taste? Okay, because that's what you're doing. You're kissing Donald Trump's ring. Okay, and then you've got the construction worker that is completely like, wait a minute, weren't you there too? We've been singing this song for 30 years, and you're telling me that it's not a, you know, it's not a gay anthem. You know, and let's talk more about the inauguration. Miss Carrie Underwood broke my heart.
This has been
my heart. Well, bye-bye, Felicia. Bye, Carrie. Carrie, take the wheel. Peace out. You are off my Spotify. Deuces.
And she's about to start being a judge at American Idol this season. She's replacing Katy Perry. I mean, I feel for American Idol. This is going to be bad, I think. I think it's going to be bad for American Idol. But again, I could be surprised. I mean, the country elected Donald Trump, so after all.
Yeah.
So,
Kiss the ring.
Not a good move. But, you know, the Village people should have sued Donald Trump just for that dance alone.
Yeah, but I think they're making so much money. There's so many views happening.
Completely.
There's got to be money segueing back.
All
to
of this is about money.
It's about money.
Which is
how
why
much
at
money?
first he thought the Village people, that guy Willis, thought that it was going to hurt their sales.
Well, he even told Trump, stop using my song
and
initially. What changed? Money changed.
Exactly. I mean,
viral.
what kind of excuse is, well, I just thought he was having a good time. Of course, that's a ridiculous excuse. That's not true. It's all about the money. And then Carrie Underwood, I'm sure she was in a predicament because the country world is a big Trump supporter, and she probably didn't want the backlash of not performing, because if they came out that she was asked and she didn't support Donald Trump and didn't perform at the inauguration, that she would have had backlash put against her on that side. So what the artists do is to not say that I'm selling out because of money. They all use the same line of, you know what? I just think our music should bring everybody together. Let's bring everybody together.
You're a pianist, you're a violinist, you play a shit ton of instruments. Donald Trump asked you to be part of his inauguration for the right price.
For the right price, for probably million?
Just yes or no. It's just yes or
no.
For
the right price.
It's just yes or no. Thank you. Okay.
For that, and then I would go on and no, but I would use that money then to do the do all the pro LGBT stuff. I've thought about investing in a Chick-fil-A just to have a whole LGBTQ plus Chick-fil-A as the news story.
They won't let you, trust me. Once they find out that you're a pianist, trust me, they won't let you buy the Chick-fil-A.
So I don't know. I think that, I mean, it's all about money, but they're all playing politics. And Dolly Parton, I was kind of interested to see what she was going to do, because I'm sure she has been asked many times to perform at some of these conservative events. And she has never really done that. And she's been the only person that has been able to go unscathed between the conservative and liberal regimes of any...
Because she got the gays behind her. The gays love
She has the conservatives behind her as well.
Right, but
she has everybody.
But she didn't piss off the gays.
And she's the masterclass how I wish everybody could be in order to be popular and still bring people together. If you want to bring people together, it's the Dolly Parton way to do it.
Well, if you've noticed in her interviews, when she's asked questions that make it a political answer, it's always, I don't really talk about these.
She says, I'm not stupid enough to
I don't
give my political views, not that I don't have them.
And in the same breath, she calls herself a drag queen and says that she loves our community and would not be where she's at without us.
It's true.
And she has bigger boobs than most drag queens I know, So we love Dolly Parton. Okay, everybody else, I'm not sure. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today, and there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. As a nonprofit LGBTQ plus media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We'd also like to thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ and allied community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on our favorite streaming platform. Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, FayWhat, and on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Dino Mosquera, TriniDaddy, and Bobby Blair. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. and to our LGBTQ world, we hope you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, be transformative, and queer. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.